Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today we will be playing Don't Eat the Cashier. What do I know about this game? Work at a gas station for eldritch, cosmic, otherworldly beings that stop by. That is all I know. The only reason I'm playing this game, and it's funny, well, to me, is because I was watching someone else play. Literally, I didn't even get far. I didn't even finish their first video. But the reason I'm actually playing this game is because they didn't make the choices that I would have made. And I was like, wait, but I want to see what happens if I make those choices. Like, if those choices are made. So that's why I didn't finish the video. One, because I didn't want to get too deep into spoilers. But two, because they were just talking too slow. They were reading the dialogue. They were just going so slow. And maybe it was just the day I was watching the video, but like, I was getting agitated. Sure, I could have sped it up or whatever. I just put lip gloss on if you heard that. But I also didn't want to get too far into spoilers. So firstly, I am going to turn this music down. I hope that we're going to turn sound down. I don't know what voice volume is or anything like that. This is all okay though. All right. Let's just go ahead and start. What are your pronouns? She, her. Your pronouns are she, her. Yes. What is your body type? Feminine. Type 2. You have a body 2 type. A type body. Oh, right. Okay, my name. Cass. Okay. I was just thinking about, your name is Cass. The last game I played in Touch Starved, and how awkward that was reading my own name. Sometimes I really wonder, how did I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or an astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. Fair. I sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree in art. 0 responses. I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. I found this note stuck to the glass of the bus stop. Food for mouth? Seriously? The guy's got a style of his own. Do I read this? Okay. Human organism wanted for work at a gas station. Why human specifically? I'm sure I'll figure that out. Organism's duties include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience. Okay. Household tasks. Obeying those who are more ancient. Okay. Friendly team offers. New and old faces of friends. Long and different life. Well, can you guarantee the long part? Because this is a little. These sound a little sketch. Consumption of nourishment. Okay. Juicy juices. And trips to human places. Interesting. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude. Or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too. And that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who will hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. Oh. I'm not that shocked by him because I already did see this part. But I'm just imagining if this was me, I would freak out. Eternally. I didn't scream. I couldn't move. My brain feverishly tried to find any category for this in its database. Hallucination? Psychosis? Too many energy drinks? A typical middle manager? The monster from my nightmare stirred. Its tentacles crept closer to the counter. My God. The creature made a sound. Not from a mouth, it had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk, hollow, profound, bone-shaking. From its bulk. Okay, this sentence is weird. I had trouble understanding that. Bob. They're always named Bob. Have you noticed that? Like, they don't have, like, a different... It's always Bob. Like, these particularly, like... blob-like, one-eyed, or at least one-eyed focused creatures. Greetings, organism. I am Bob. Oh, that's a comma. That's not a comma. That's an apostrophe. That was a... That's a comma. The indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds. But you, grain of sand, may call me Manager Bob. No. No, no, no! This isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1. You sell, no matter what. Chicken food for the mouth, gremlin fuel, noodles made from cursed souls, lottery tickets for extra limb raffles, discount rod, ritual foil. Interesting. Everything must be sold. He points directly at me with that creepy, slimy tentacle. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but didn't wake up. Rule number 2. Be polite to customers. Ignore bald spots in werewolf fur, and watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency, and they should only pay in monetary units. Payment in existential dread or hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. Your task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It is also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they can't give away currency. Werewolves, exoplasmic entities, and what the hell are you anyway? Yeah, right, like I would yell in its face. Hold back. Excuse me, dear sir, you seem to have mentioned werewolves and ectoplasm? Silently tremble with fear. Let's hold back. My voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down. Werewolves? And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles, damn you. Not a giant meatball. I shall answer your question, curious polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. I'm at a gas station for monsters. I got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. This is all you need to know. No, only I decide what I need to know. That really is all I need to know. I fear any more knowledge will surely drive me insane. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the more chill route. Look at his face! For the first time, something resembling approval flickers across Bob's many-eyed face. Ooh, hearts. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Embrace your ignorance. Let it become your shield and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that works here. And what does the Human Employee of the Month get? Do I have to work here for an entire month? Actually, what does the Employee of the Month get? A cash bonus of 25 cents! That's not even cash. That's a coin. So, not a lot. Got it. I understand that you, human, are already extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You will also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle. Is that a shift? During its use, there is only a 7% chance that you will be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable torment. Wow, only 7%? Truly generous. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule. Remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. By the end... Oh, before I go to sleep? Do I have to sleep behind this counter? If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary restrooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,510 years. I couldn't take my eyes off the fork. The potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, my mind fully catapulted. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being verbally threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaning. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you... Okay. The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. Which is when? I probably did not even read that and I just signed it. My oculus sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap. I'm stuck here. I'm in a trap. Do you understand, organism? Yeah, right, like I tease and add an extra year. 2,510. Why not 2,511? Hold back. Yes, sir. Ooh, more hearts. Acceptable. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Could you show me how exactly to do I press the buttons? Point at the buttons on the vending machine. Yes, I think I'll handle this perfectly. Am I gonna handle this perfectly? I should just lie. As my manager, I should just lie to his face. We're just gonna say... Yeah, I'll handle this perfectly. Adequate! Your willingness to fulfill your work duties deserves my emotional approval. Human entity, you are acceptable. Aw, thanks. If you expect a monetary reward instead of an emotional one, you need to immediately reconsider your moral compass. Greed is a highly condemned trait for a human organism. This concludes the briefing! Maybe I should have asked how to work the vending machine. Maybe I shouldn't have said that I was just too good at this job. Remain as polite an organism as you are! He didn't turn around as a human would. His tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction with a soft gurgling sound, and he waddled across the linoleum. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of the refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp above my head. Is this the door out? It's literally right in front of me. That type of layout freaks me out. I stood in the same spot, as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. My hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so, what just happened? Option 1. I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yes, that's it. I'm going to wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again. And nothing. I scanned the room once more. It smelled of gasoline and old coffee. It was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said. It was all true. Werewolves, vampires, tips, the fork. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to... The way I would die if the lights just went out. Oh no. Don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hell? Shit. Where the hell did this clown come from? It took great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering how tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantees that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, was frantically trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. You can't just peer with the sound of a creepy piano, sir. Isn't it strange that I work at a gas station for a couple of bucks, yet you are the one who wears the jester's hat? Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? Please don't eat me. I'm just a miserable, tasteless cashier. Okay, so this is a bit of cheating because I did see which one gives you hearts. So I could go with this one. With the jester's hat. Or you can't just appear with the sound of a creepy piano, sir. It's probably something more likely that I would say. I don't know. Let's flip a coin. I'm gonna flip a coin. That's what I do when I can't make decisions. I just flip a coin. It's so much easier. I have like mild decision paralysis. Kind of bad. Okay, heads is the top one. Tails is the bottom one. Or the one right below it. So we are going with tails. Okay, so we're gonna make a joke, question mark. That's quite witty. That's the first joke I've heard in this wonderful place, and it wasn't disappointing. It's so amusing that I might not turn your cash register into you, and you into the cash register. He is kind of cute though, I'm not gonna lie. You're not going to do what? I'd also rather not become a cash register, thank you. I still need to sell a lot of juicy juices today. Yes. Let me just use the cash register for its intended purpose. What would you like to purchase? Nah, I'd probably say this one. Oh, more hearts. And even in the face of existential transformation, you're still talking about your duty. Your juicy, juicy duty. But have you considered the opinion of the cash register itself? You have a unique opportunity to do so. Just one word. I don't want to know what the cash register might tell me, considering everything it's seen and how sticky it is. My God, another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. And it seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful, charming lady like you doing in such a dreadful, dirty island of misfortune? Or rather, what is a place like this doing with such a charming lady as you? Oh wait, where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of a lovely lady. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King. A title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me. The lady I saw said Darien, but this doesn't look like Darien. It looks like Dyran. So I'm gonna call him Dyran. Or is it Diran? Totally Dyran. I always roll an R for some reason. Now, may I have your hand? Offer him your hand. Absolutely not. Sorry, my mother told me not to offer my hand to strangers, or any other parts of me, sir, or your highness. He burst into genuine, booming laughter. Your mother was truly a wise woman. A masterful stroke of self-preservation. I haven't been rebuffed so delightfully in, well, at least a century. Others prefer to use enchanted swords and pitchforks. They forget that words can wound too. But perhaps I can still melt your heart. I have an eternity for that. Literally. May I know your name? My name is Cass. I'm also a queen. The queen of the gas station. My name is Cass, sir. I refuse to reveal my true name. Demons always do terrible things with them. My name is Cass. My friends call me Big D. Or they would, if I had any. This is also cheating because I know what the lady I saw chose. I kind of like what she chose this one, so I kind of already know what results you get. But I probably would have said something similar. I wouldn't be so polite. Even though Bob was like, continue being your polite self. I will. To you. Only you. Because I don't care about anybody else. I'm not gonna just outright call him a demon, because I feel like that's just kind of rude. I'm not gonna say I don't have any friends either. So we'll go with the queen. A queen? Your Majesty. Oh, hearts. Forgive my outrageous ignorance. I did not recognize the sovereign of this noble kingdom of oil and discounted juicy drinks. You are a queen with a wonderful sense of humor, as am I. A queen? There's nothing better for subjects than rulers who appreciate a good joke. Many believe that absolute power makes a ruler's sense of humor more sadistic, but as far as I'm concerned, they just never had a good, entertaining time impaling people. They just never had a good, entertaining time impaling people. Okay. I humbly bow before you, your Majesty of the Midnight Shift. Sorry I didn't send envoys ahead. Apologies not accepted. You'll have to be escorted out of the kingdom. Yeah, right, he didn't give me any money. I grant you my royal pardon. I wish to vassalize you. I read vanquilize, and I was like, is that a word? About our selection. I'll grant you my royal pardon. Literally. Because this is like, can you buy something, please? I think this would be funny. And more hearts. Bro, you better give me money. Or buy something. I like this gnome here. A pardon from the lips of the queen herself. How my wounded soul rejoices. I am redeemed, reborn in the light of your mercy. This act of mercy will be sung by the poets of my realm, those who can still rhyme rather than just wallow in alcoholic oblivion. You know, my company has an especially interesting effect on the artistic types, as I've discovered. Nothing surprising there. It seems I've gone mad myself. Or halfway there. Maybe it happened around the time I decided to become an artist. I'm indeed exchanging silly jokes with some mysterious, toothy entity, as if it's nothing. Maybe I just adapt to my new profession really quickly. Or perhaps I had a stash of nerves. I had a stash of nerves of steel in a bag. I can't shake the feeling, though, that this clown is about to explode himself, or blow me up. I feel like my brain is turning to jelly. And I don't understand when we'll finally get to the point. Actually, it's not all that bad. Brad, are you gonna buy something or like not? Or should I say it's not all that bad? Well, I've already been kind of flirty. Fun. Maybe it's just I've been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. Funny thing. Though the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rod. So, let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. There's nothing interesting in this assortment of this. There's nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic shack, except for you. So I'm buying your time. Give me cash. Let's have dinner. I'm sure you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. Yeah, nothing says great like whatever the heck this is hanging from a tree and decrepit buildings falling apart. Love it. I'm shivering from the gust of icy wind. He just teleported half of my gas station to a radioactive dump. Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. And the jar is gone. My freaking jar! Ah, put it back the way it was. In the jar. Looks like my rental apartment, but seems to smell less now. What a wonderful place for dinner. Radioactive cockroaches on the menu. I'm gonna be like, give me back my jar. You really don't like change, do you? But life is ever changing. Life is not a stone, my dear. Life is water. Wow, this kind of hit me, actually. Where I am right now in life. But since you don't like this current, so be it. Let me find us something less populated with mutants. I can't go long without familiar landscapes. Already ruined lands makes me melancholic because all the fun has happened without me. Disgusting. Hello. This is something seemingly less radioactive. It's a candlestick. How fun. What is this? Interesting. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. It feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table. Much better, wouldn't you agree? Couldn't be better. This is still not my store. Bob will kill me. It's beautiful here. and strange. Is this your home? I preferred the dump. Well, maybe. It is kind of pretty. I don't know if it's just the music choice. It is kind of pretty. Bob will kill me though. But we're gonna choose this one. Hearts. Yeah. Words of a true poet, Cass. My two favorite categories, strange and beautiful. This place is much more than a home. It's my cage, and my greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye-bearing mushroom. Eye-bearing mushroom. I didn't even notice the eyes on the mushrooms. It's all a piece of me. A marvelous place, except when the rocks grow legs and start running. Including those that people make their homes out of. And now you're a part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? I'm slowly getting used to the landscape. The fireflies here are quite charming. But it'd be better without the frog with the human face. I actually saw this in the playthrough. Like, I spotted this in the playthrough, and then I noticed it in the script as I was watching. The frog notices me too. It lets out a sad croak, and then looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. Say nothing about the frog with a human face. Point at the frog with a human face. Who is that? I probably actually would do this. That's 𝖈𝖓𝖙, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my authority. My dear friend, who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs. Fought to the end, a true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes and bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, does he bother you? His little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambiance? He looks at me with an interested expression. Hold on, I don't want to make a decision yet. What exactly did 𝖈𝖓𝖙 do? Yes, please disintegrate him. Can you remove him gently? He's suffered enough. I don't mind 𝖈𝖓𝖙. No, I want him to watch. I want to know what 𝖈𝖓𝖙 did. What did the sack of manure do? What did this walking sack of manure do? Besides trying to kill me. Oh, plenty. He swung a sword blazing with righteous fury, or some such nonsense. He dared to come to my home, a world born of my shattered mind, and dictate what the natural order should be. Such an audacious, vile creature. He made such repulsive noises, clanking, grumbling, shouting, praying, threatening, moralizing. The last part was the hardest to endure. But as it turns out, holiness doesn't prevent frogification or chairification. I found various uses for 𝖈𝖓𝖙 over the years of our friendship. Oh, the fall of the great 𝖈𝖓𝖙, the funniest Tuesday of the century, a Tuesday filled with pomp, irony, and croaking. Maybe you could break the spell? Perhaps he's learned his lesson. Alright, I guess I'd also turn someone who tried to kill me into a frog. Got it. I would turn someone who tried to kill me into a frog. Hearts. Ha! Exactly, my dear. You see and understand. It's simple cause and effect. Action and reaction. He who comes to me with a sword shall leave as a frog. That's how it went, right? Oh, you truly are a kindred spirit, Cass. I knew there was a delightful darkness behind those beautiful eyes. He looks at me with an interested expression. Yes, please disintegrate him. Can you remove him gently? He's suffering enough. I don't mind 𝖈𝖓𝖙. No, I want him to watch. I don't mind him. He's just, hanging out. You don't mind. Excellent. I think he really sets the tone for the whole clearing, aesthetically. A living monument to the consequences of poor life choices. Laurie, did you hear that? The lady grants you a stay of execution. You may continue your pitiful mosquito-infested existence. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities must be exhausting. What is that? This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey. And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made of a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poison or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too. So I pick up a fork from the table. And this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's 100 times better than the cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. It seems you enjoy our cuisine. My chefs have always managed to cook well, on those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner. At least, not for the first half hour after the meal. What does that mean? Yes, thank you, you are very kind. This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Why are you doing this? The dinner, the teleports, all that. Thank you for the food on my plate. Thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. It's between these two. I'm gonna say thank you for the food on my plate not staring back at me. Oh, hearts. Don't give me ideas. I might not be able to resist. To your fortune, however, I want your lovely eyes to look at me, and only me, both the left and the right. I particularly like the right one. It has more spark. Funny enough, actually, that's not true. I was gonna say something, but that's just not true. My bad. I poke at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. A silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. What's your favorite animal? Don't ask silly questions, return to eating. What's your favorite animal is actually a question I absolutely would ask. Glad you asked. It's right here on your plate. Just kidding. But I do need some time to think. Let's see. The riding flea has its own charms. Very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they're dumb and noisy. And as you know, only what's empty inside makes a noise. Or what's in my head. It's always ringing. I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart, whether they're a saint or a serial killer, and doesn't notice the difference. It lives in a constant, joyful state of blissful ignorance and misplaced enthusiasm. A creature that finds endless joy in the utterly meaningless. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the gestures of the animal world, and I adore them for it. Especially the small, wrinkly ones. Well, what about you? Cats, to them, were probably the gestures. I actually don't really like cats that much. I'll keep it a secret. A secret? From me? How wonderfully teasing. A little locked box in your mind, and you won't give me the key. Well, keep it. I won't peek. It'll make the guessing game more interesting. I return to my meal, and just as I chew another bite, I hear His Majesty's voice. By the way, how does the meat taste? Is the human flesh tender enough? My fork freezes halfway. My initial reaction was like, wow, okay, vomit. Why the hell is the human flesh Why the hell is the human flesh on my platter? Swallow with difficulty. Yes, thank you. Quite tender. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before yesterday. Chew while looking him in the eye. You're the law here. This is what I would actually do. Because I know he's just trying to get a rise out of me. And it might actually be true. I might be munching on human flesh. But I would say something like this. Oh, look at it! Oh, that stunned him. I meet his gaze, slowly, and with all authority, place a piece of meat in my mouth, and begin to chew without breaking eye contact. I can't remember ever seeing anyone so shocked in my life. This is so funny, though. Even if he kills me, this was worth it. His mad grin vanishes, his eyes widen, and his own fork freezes halfway to his mouth. For one precious, glorious, sweet moment, the Lord of Chaos is completely and utterly baffled. Oh, hearts! My dear, you are a true treasure. Thank you. You didn't just call my bluff. You raised the stakes to the sky. No, it's certainly not human. It's just venison. As far as I can tell by taste, not very intelligent. It's definitely not Timmy or Carpenter. No, it's definitely not Timmy, our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron, perfectly sized to fit in. It definitely not. I personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition, but that's besides the point. I rarely have visitors, and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, it's the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. I loved that I shocked him. He didn't even laugh. He was just in sheer shock. I love that. Hold on. I wanted to take a sip of water. Y'all better be drinking water, because I know that this part is heavy, and I don't even know the story because I wasn't paying attention to it. So every reaction is genuine. I really love this soundtrack. Do you all think that I will get copy claimed? I got copy claimed. Oops, I dropped you there. I got copy claimed for Touchstar, which sucks because the music was really nice. So, like, I get it, but I hate it. Okay. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink, and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at their master's whim. Behold, this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic. Too big. But give the creator some leeway for expressiveness. Many brave and not-so-bright souls have tried to conquer this terrifyingly dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. You see, the dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection or concocting recipes with raisins. Ah, what a terrifying monster! So far, the scariest thing in this story is the presence of raisins. Listen silently. The raisins. Oh, hearts. Yes, you do understand. They are real horror, aren't they? Tiny shriveled bits of deception. They pretend to be sweet, but they are just made to ruin. They ruin lovely cookies, ruin family photos. They have no place in civilized society. Oh, how I understand them. I actually like raisins. But, like, not a lot. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. He sowed chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons and others that they were brains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away, and he demanded they seal the gaps in the doors. Well, it's probably supposed to be as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory, and promised them power if they invented a kettle that would boil everything except water. Did they eventually invent the kettle? Who won, the pigeons or the grains? Well, I'm curious about the kettle. Hearts. Invented. Oh, they did much more. After 11 years of failed prototypes, a few explosions, and chemicals running away on their own legs, they succeeded. The kettle would boil even bright memories, but not water. Water would instantly freeze, explode, and file for divorce. I immediately rewarded them with a new invention idea. A cup with a sealed top, and without a bottom. Let's see how they handle that. But I digress. But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom, the first hero, Sir Lorry, the righteous in all his clanking, self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects to... By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders. Yeah, or lamenting their fate. I cherish them in their imperfection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. The Grotto of Tentacles? Imagine the most sinister name you can conjure. The Grotto of My Parents' Disappointment in Me? The Grotto of Kidney Stones. The Grotto of Despair sounds about right. The Grotto of My Parents' Disappointment in Me. That sounds so funny. Oh, but if they could see you now, you're at a royal audience. They would be proud of you. No, actually, they wouldn't be proud if they got to know me better. But in that case, it's good too. You won't be alone under the weight of their disappointment. But let's not get sidetracked. Into the grotto of your parents' disappointment in you. Why did he integrate that? Our hero descended to retrieve an article capable of defeating the Monster King. The Ring of Incredible Power. A bit shoddily crafted, but I assure you it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440-pound weight. That was its only magical property. The only incredible thing about this ring was its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he would have become a baker instead of a hero just to get some sleep. What? Realization that he spent weeks of his life as a divinely, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have became a hero. I think there's something missing from this sentence. Anyway. Well, it broke his poor noble mind. Not that his mind was ever intended for serious burdens. No, the knight! Yes, to hell with you, knight. Nod meaningfully, waiting for him to continue. So, the night perished. But then along came 𝖈𝖓𝖙𝖚. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. On the third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot, constantly, during breakfast, while bathing, at balls, during sleep, and even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. The audacity. I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. And I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. It made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. 𝖈𝖓𝖙 was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves. So naturally, the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves, played at a lute by a bagpipe orchestra. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. He was desperate, and I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now, he's my royal huntsman. The dwarf march is replaced with a lively elven sea shanty. And let no one dare accuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. You missed the opportunity to change his dwarf national anthem to serenades. A happy ending, right? To dwarf serenades. That would have been funny, but I don't know. I think it's funny. It's a happy ending. For me, absolutely. I've never had such a good hunter in my life. I never quite figured out where he gets all those species of animals, but no matter. And finally, the witch, in a classic giant hat, under which you could easily fit the witch. She tried a different approach, seduction. She attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, to become my spouse, a fatal miscalculation. She didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big cats, or people, especially when both came hand in hand, and those who wear suspenders with a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants certainly doesn't earn the trust of His Highness. Then again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. But back to the hats. I hate big hats too. I adore big hats. Hats don't provoke any particular feelings in me. I think saying I adore big hats would just be kind of funny. Oh dear, don't even think about wearing them around. At best, I'll turn it into a smaller hat, and that's if I'm in a good mood. At worst, badgers. Lots of very angry badgers. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, jingling with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. And you see, I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Her fate is a blank slate, a story yet to be written, so I offer you the pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours, Cass. What punishment befits her? I don't know. What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? And does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway. But as long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him? Damn, what should I do? Think of the craziest thing. I think the craziest thing would be to spare her. No one would expect that. He's gonna consider me a spy or something. Turn her into a hat. A small one. I refuse to decide her fate. I think turning her into a small hat would be really funny, though. And it doesn't seem like he's that big of a villain. Like, he's not wreaking havoc on others. They are coming to him. The craziest thing would be for him to spare her, but I don't think that would work in his favor. So turning her into a small hat would be just funny. Oh, hearts. The one who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd, it's beautiful. So be it. Let her be a small cap of eternal regret. I'm sorry. She tried to get into my head, and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Something's missing from this tale. You never told me about the monster itself. I suppose it's the end of the tale. No, I want to know about the monster. Dear, who cares about these monsters anyway? Insist. I do. If monsters are the muck, then I'm the pig, you see. Give up. Never mind. No, I want to know. How eloquent. Alright. I must admit, this will be my first performance of this. I'm just gonna call him Darian because I almost said that. Darian sounds a bit bewildered, it seems. Allow me to just toss my mind up and see how it lands. Okay. You see, the monster was originally much more modest and less majestic. But we all have to start somewhere, right? Then my head suddenly became a bit crowded. First whispers, then arguments, then full-fledged discussions that had to be participated in and involved inanimate objects. Guests in ajar doors, closets, even in cookie jars. Every container a potential foe. And I was surrounded by containers. To be fair, sometimes they told funny stories. But why was I afflicted with this curse? Pondering it drives me mad. More so. It seems the question is meant for me. Were you cursed for arrogance? Greed? Did you touch a cursed artifact? Maybe some ring of yours? Does your family have anything in common with the Habsburgs? I don't know what that means. Remain silent. I'd definitely not remain silent, because if you're trying to ask me something, I am going to throw my 2 cents in, probably. Were you cursed for arrogance? An artifact. Dear, I'm afraid you've confused cause and effect. It's I who drive rings mad, not the other way around. Any poor, innocent artifact I happen to touch might start screaming uncontrollably or trying to ask those around it about the meaning of their lives. No, I'm afraid it's a bit more banal. It's all about rocky blood. Too pure, I beg your pardon. My great-grandfather issued a decree forbidding death from old age, and a distant aunt believed a colony of sentient mold was living in her walls, claiming her inheritance. But I always thought that I would be spared of this fate. I had to be temporarily isolated, to avoid embarrassing guests at royal balls with the young prince pointing at noble lords and saying, "Ha ha, the gnomes finally got out from under my bed." What a misfortune for the entire family, except for those in line for the throne before me. My death would have solved many problems for my family, and indeed many of my own problems too. I made a decision. We made it, to be precise. There were already a whole council of us by then. However, chaos had other plans. A god, a goddess, a cosmic clerical error, I don't know. Something ancient and terribly bored found itself a new source of entertainment. It offered me a throne, my own corner of reality. where the fragments of my mind would become the laws of the land. No more restrictions or pants for my subjects, if I wished. My subjects, at first, they disagreed, but then they came to terms, or their minds changed to fit the new realities. And here I am. A dramatic silence ensues. Perhaps I am the first being to hear this story in the centuries of his existence. I must choose my next words carefully. Bro, why you actually okay, will you give me a tip? Ah, that'd be crazy. I really sympathize with you and all of your multiple personalities. So you're still in a cage. You must be rather lonely. Shake your head. How can you just lock a family member in a tower? It's unthinkable. Thank you for the story. I don't know, I feel like saying thank you for the story is like kind of rude. So I'm gonna say you're still locked in a cage. No cages. More like a playground with surprisingly silent infants. But I don't blame them. I have the best shovel. It's no wonder I embarrass them so much. Or maybe it's because I love to create explosions. Tell me, have you ever been exploded? Or no, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. Do you really sympathize with someone who dragged you into his dimension to tell silly stories and feed you purple good? People never cease to amaze me. I'm gonna touch his hand. What's gonna happen? I don't know, but like, I'm resonating with his story. Following a strange impulse, I reach out to his hand resting on the table. His gaze slowly follows my movements, lowering to our hands. This time, no commentary. Instead, his thumb begins to trace patterns on the back of my hand with surprising tenderness. The shadows finally dissolve into nothingness. I just turned a living being into a hat, or rather, became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case. I'm afraid royal duties await me. Our time is up. I'll send you back, Cass. Bro, you better give me some money! I rise from the chair. What's this? And suddenly I feel him press against my back. What's this? One of his hands grips me just above the crook of my elbow, while the other gently rests under my chin, tilting my head back until my ear is just a couple of centimeters from his lips. Bro, you better give me money. But don't think for a second that this is goodbye. It was merely an overture, which I still don't know what that is. I always look it up and I always forget. His voice, usually so mocking and calm, now sounds eerily sinister. A cold thumb lightly strokes the line of my jaw. Well, why is it sinister now? Well, yeah, he's a little insane. I tried to suppress a shiver. You were a very interesting, incredibly curious guest. Possibly the most curious one I've had in centuries. And I found that I don't want our acquaintance to end here. It's terribly unfair that you've learned a couple of my secrets and filled so few of yours, isn't it? I mean, fair, that's fair. I can't tell whether he's flirting or threatening. Both, perhaps. I believe both. A bird trapped in a cage of bills, failures, and endless anxiety. How high could you fly once the cage is opened? This is a good question. Why do I actually resonate with MC again? Okay. Your shift will end, the sun will rise, and you'll want to head home. Perhaps on something more elegant than a bus? Maybe in a carriage of polished bones? Right. We will meet again, Cass. Very, very soon. And next time, I won't let you go so quickly. Of course. Of course I attracted the yandere. Of course I attracted... Okay. Anyway. Hey, there's not a chance... there's a chance he's not a yandere. There's a chance that he's just possessive. I squeezed my eyes shut. If you didn't leave me any money, where's my tip jar? Where's my tip jar? Oh my gosh. The light is blinding, even with my eyes closed. So unusual after all this darkness. Ah, sweet! The jar is full of money. It was all worth it. Hey, Bob, check it out. Anyways. Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I didn't sell nothing, but I got a bunch of tips. Oh, hearts. I see. The first transaction was successful. Acceptable. Bro, what did I sell? This still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities, but it's a wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. Thanks, Bob. Even more than successful, the client tried to fill the entire station with money, probably due to the extreme affection for you. Okay. Organism. Unfortunately, the terms of the Intergalactic Treaty do not allow such actions. Tips exceeding the amount set by the Council by approximately this number. I'm not reading out loud here. What is that even? Okay, so there's 1,000. There's 1,000,000. There's 1,000,000,000. Oh, okay. That's not that bad. Were disintegrated, to my great regret. To my great regret as well. So, a mad god from another world likes me. In some sense, that's possibly worse than not being liked at all. The very first client sent me to another dimension and nearly turned me into a cash register. Work is going well, sir. Can I quit? I would say work is going well. Ooh, more hearts. Excellent. Maintain this level of productivity. You may be rewarded with an additional 5-minute feeding break. For if you can find food, rejoice in my generosity. For if I can find food, bro, you're already not delivering on the stuff that your wanted thing said. You said you would feed me and guarantee me a long life. But you're not even gonna feed me? Continue working. I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you. I will be even prouder if you acquire even more currency. Your tactic of jesting, carefree organism is clearly paying off. I like that. Okay, that is actually, to be honest, take away the anxiety. That's my base personality. It's just the anxiety that messes it up. Goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautiful at this time of day. And they're a regular just goodbye, Mr. Manager. I'ma just try and flatter him a little bit. Ah, look at him, he's blushing. And hearts. Your comment regarding the shine of my appendages is noted, organism. The secret is a meticulous regime of polishing them with void bib okay slide. I had tentacles, so I didn't really care, but alright. Goodbye! Bye, Bob. He slaps across the floor to his office. As soon as Bob's rhythmic, wet slaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. One moment, I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. A god who liked me so much that he offered me a ride back to his world in a carriage made of bones. The next moment, I'm being praised by a multi-eyed tentacled monster. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. I'm going insane. Some part of me enjoys these mad adventures. No, but tea! Gotta give me back my bells, my noodles, my arguments with strangers on the internet. Nah! I'm good without that. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Disgusting. Now I have to deal with that too. In the midst of my contemplation, terrifying sounds emanate from my boss's office. Unfair bills! Unacceptably large numbers! Of course, what else would upset him so much, if not that? Bro, if he tried to fill the whole gas station with money, why is my jar only half full? Wait, I just thought about that. I I should have been able to go home. Anyway. You know, he probably took money out of my tip jar. Because I didn't sell anything. He didn't buy anything but my time, I guess. But, like, that wasn't for actual sale, like, in the store. Steps. Another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. Okay, so we're gonna save this. And we're gonna stop the recording here. How do I go back? Oh, main menu. I skipped over that. So, this has been fun. It's already been an hour. I'm probably gonna, like, actually record the next one right now. But yeah, this has been fun. I'm actually having a lot of fun. I am a naturally flirty person. I do it on accident. It's not intentional. I can't tell you how many people have thought that I was, like, hitting on them and then fallen in love with me temporarily. And I'm like, oh, I was just having a conversation. I'm just like that. But yeah, anyway. This has been fun. I'm actually having a lot of fun. I've been feeling kind of down lately, but this was a lot of fun. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and sleep well.